คุณกำลังฟังสถานีวิทยุ AM 1575 กิโลเฮิรตซ์สรานรมเรดิโอวิทยุการทูตเพื่อประชาชนเชื่อมไทยสู่โลกเชื่อมโลกสู่ไทย
สวัสดีครับ and welcome back to Inside MFA with me เศรษฐัฐ พิญโยเทียโชติ Inside MFA on airs every Friday morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. If you are interested in all things related to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, be sure to tune in to AM 1575 kHz to Saranrom Radio. Tune in for interesting programs and stories that are available throughout the weekdays. Yeah, everybody, so it's another Friday again and it's the morning. I hope you guys have a great day ahead and don't be sick or have a runny nose like me right now. Yeah, take care of yourself, be strong, exercise a lot. Let's go into what we have for today. For today's session will be of the speech from the weekly press briefing by Director General of Department of Information and MFA spokesperson that was held last week on the 20th of June. The speech was about 5 main topics, including: first, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs attended the BRICS ministerial meeting. Second, the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs attended the summit on peace in Ukraine. Third, developments in Thailand's bid for OECD member. Fourth, foreign missions in the upcoming week. And lastly, the intention of the Art Institute of Chicago to return antiques to Thailand. Those are the 5 topics that will be discussed in today's session. Now, before listening to the speech, you guys should all just sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's recap of MFA news here at Inside MFA. Minister of Foreign Affairs attended the 19th Asia Cooperation Dialogue (ACD) ministerial meeting on the 24th of June to endorse Thailand's proposal to chair the ACD in 2025 and adopted 3 important documents. The first, Tehran Declaration. Second, rules and procedures of the ACD. And third, guiding principles for the functioning of the ACD Secretariat. Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Singapore paid an official visit to Thailand and jointly presided over the opening ceremony of the 14th Civil Service Exchange Program or CSCP with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Thailand during 25th to 26th of June 2024. Foreign Minister discusses with Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste on 21st of June 2024, discussing ways to further strengthen bilateral cooperation in various areas, especially military-to-military cooperation, United Nations peacekeeping operation, military education, and the role of Thailand as a steadfast development partner of Timor-Leste in areas like public health, education, agriculture, human resource development, and public services. And that's the weekly news from the MFA. And now it's time for the speech quote from the Director General of Department of Information. Let's hear what he has to say. I will recap all the 5 topics that I've just briefed the Thai press in English. Firstly, I briefed the press on which has actually already been widely covered by the press, or was the attendance of the foreign minister during the 9th to 12th June at the BRICS ministerial meeting in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia, under the Russian chairmanship of BRICS. Other than holding a number of bilateral meetings, the foreign minister delivered a statement during the formal meeting on the topic of promoting multilateralism for development and global security. The second topic that I briefed for our press conference today was a summary of the summit on peace in Ukraine that took place in Switzerland on the 15th to 16th of June 2024. Thailand was represented by the Vice Minister Racharijan, who was tasked by his Prime Minister as his representative. The summit saw a total of 100 participants representing 92 countries and 8 international organizations. Thirdly, Thailand's participation at the summit demonstrates our support for efforts to bring about an early end to the conflict and our continued support for mitigating its impacts, both in terms of food security and humanitarian assistance. The Vice Foreign Minister also held bilateral discussions with the Turkish Foreign Minister, the United Kingdom National Security Advisor, and the Director General of the Netherlands Department of Political Affairs. The third topic, which was covered today, was about development in our bid to become OECD members, which I was pleased to share with the Thai press that the OECD Council recently on the 17th of June 2024 approved Thailand's application to formally start accession discussions. What follows now is work to put together an accession roadmap to set targets, conditions, and timeframes for implementation in line with the OECD instruments. This is a very important development in our aspiration to become OECD member, as it reflects that Thailand shares the value and goals, including democracy, rule of law, human rights, open and transparent market economy, which is in line with the other OECD member countries. We look forward to advancing further on this path to membership and strengthening further the good relations between Thai and all OECD member countries. For the fourth topic today, I briefed the press on the foreign mission and visits taking place next week, namely that the foreign minister will attend the 19th ACD ministerial meeting in Tehran during 23rd to 25th of June, and that the Prime Minister of the Kingdom Bhutan and his spouse are scheduled to pay an official visit to Thailand as guests of the government from 25th to 28th of June 2024 at the invitation of the Prime Minister himself. The fifth and last topic I've briefed to the press is regarding the intention of the Art Institute of Chicago to return antiques to Thailand. The sandstone pillar has been verified by the Fine Arts Department to be a part of the pillar on the left side of the eastern door frame of Phnom Rung Castle in Buriram province. It is believed to have been smuggled out of Thailand in 1965, before the restoration of the Phnom Rung Castle began. We thank our Royal Thai Consulate General in Chicago for coordinating the details with all the parties involved in the next step of returning the artifacts safely to Thailand. And that concludes the summary of my briefing in English, and I'm happy to take questions from the floor or from the Facebook Live. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ And now, we will continue listening to the Q&A part of the weekly press briefing. Question 1. Could you give us a timeline on Thailand gaining membership for OECD and BRICS? Both organizations grouping would have different processes for the timeline for each we hope for. Question 2. What exactly does Thailand stand to gain from joining OECD and BRICS? Both organizations in groupings are both different in nature, so we'd like some insights into the benefits they individually provide to Thailand, both in the short and mid-term. Thank you, krab. Now, the answer to question 1. Yes, thank you for the questions from Reuters. For your first question about the timeline of Thailand to gain membership for OECD and BRICS. First, I would like to say that we're delighted to learn that on the 17th of June 2024, the OECD Council decided to invite Thailand to open accession discussions with them. What happened next is an accession roadmap for Thailand, which will be drafted to set targets and timelines for Thailand to do what is necessary to comply with the relevant OECD instruments. This may take numerous years before our progress is evaluated by the members and a decision on membership is made. So to reply to your question, there is no fixed time frame, as every OECD action process is based on its own pace and merits. As for BRICS, Thailand has submitted our formal letter to intent to join BRICS. During the BRICS Foreign Minister meeting just over a week ago, current members will now consider our application as each relevant level from SOM level, senior official level, up to the leaders level. Upon consensus being reached, the applicant country would be invited to join. Of course, we hope we would receive positive feedback both and be accepted as BRICS member as soon as the next summit to be held in Russia in Kazan during 22nd to 24th of October, which Thailand will join the meeting. Answers to question 2. As for your second question about what exactly does Thailand stand to gain from joining both OECD and BRICS, let me start by reiterating that the objectives of OECD and BRICS are completely different. Although we view both frameworks for cooperation and development, BRICS will in the short term provide us with the visibility, with the relevance that Thailand can leverage further and advance in South Fiasco cooperation. Thailand will not only give importance to this topic, but we have the experience to contribute as champions of SDGs. Whether it's within the ASEAN, the United Nations, or even APEC. If you all remember, we were advancing the issues of BCG economy during APEC chair. So we are in a good position to contribute to work in the Global South on the issue of development and sustainable development. In the long term, our membership in BRICS will allow us to play a more proactive role and contributing to crafting the global architecture. OECD is very different. It's about standards. It's about enhancing our competitiveness through raising our standards. And this will come from our conformity, for instance, to standards on lower carbon emissions, for instance. This is also relevant in areas of human capital, rule of law, infrastructure, and environment. It will help us towards the goal of becoming a developed country early. So that's my answer to the questions from Reuters. Question 3. A point was made was that Thailand can be seen as the middle ground or middleman in connecting BRICS to cooperation frameworks in Thailand right now, especially about ASEAN. From our viewpoint, what connection branches can be made, in what topic and dimension, especially at this time, with the Laos PDR, People's Democratic Republic, as the chairmanship of ASEAN. Might we need to discuss with Laos in what topic or dimension can we be the middle ground or middle band for? Answer to question 3. Yes, like I've said, BRICS is an organization for development, which will help raise the topic for all those developing countries. Thailand is a country that is developing and is headed towards becoming a developed country. So we are essential in connecting the agendas for developing countries, which there are still many countries in ASEAN that are still in the state of developing countries. So we are ready to connect those topics. Importantly, we view BRICS being similar as a grouping of developing countries and frameworks. They are an important organization that helps takes part in creating a world order that should become more visible in soon-to-come future. Therefore, other than being a connecting bridge to inform BRICS about what topics there are in ASEAN, Southeast Asia, and Thailand ourselves, that we wanted the matter to be highlighted and pronounced. It is also a connection between Thailand and the world order that's bound to happen. Or actually, there might have already been discussions about the state in which the world is adjusting itself, of what topics and matters we want to highlight and focus on. I'll give you an example of sustainable development. Topics about environment, PM matter. These are all important matters and topics that Thailand sees the importance of. And we can go and discuss with BRICS that these are matters and topics that we want them to reflect back on. Question 4. Despite all that, must we still discuss with Laos about the topics of cases of cooperation that will happen? Answers to question 4. We must separate the 2 points, that topics in relation to ASEAN, for sure as Laos being the chairmanship of ASEAN that we must discuss with, if it's in regard to topics and matters of ASEAN generally and have the consensus of ASEAN group for us to bring up topics and matters to BRICS, but we can't do it so ourselves. Or not even the chairmanship of ASEAN can bring any topics or matters up without the consensus. Despite that, there are many matters and topics that are our matters, in which Thailand is direct and has the will to be at BRICS level. It's a topic that can already be advanced. Last question. Question 5. Another question in regards to us joining the summit on peace in Ukraine, that at the end it was on the news that Thailand hasn't signed the outcome document at the meeting. So what I would like to ask is that, is there any reason in particular why we have not signed the outcome document? Answer to question 5. Thailand is one of the 16 countries that didn't sign the document. I want to state that there are 2 points to this matter. The first, the inside operations of Thailand. We were not able to operate in according with the operations in Thailand on time to ensure the outcome document. We mustn't forget that this document has been adjusted and has word changes till the last minute. Furthermore, the second point is that the restoration of the government's sovereignty power, which is a topic that is highly sensitive. So in order for Thailand to act out clearly, we must have many discussions and thought out thoughts. We always have had the clear standing of these principles, so it may not be necessary to immediately join the meeting in signing the outcome document. I also want to ensure that with Thailand not being a co-sponsor in this outcome document, it doesn't mean that Thailand is against Ukraine peace. In the contrast, with Thailand being present at the Peace Summit meeting, it shows that we do strongly value peace. And that's all for the Q&A part from the weekly press briefing on the 20th June 2024. During the speech, you all surely did hear the acronym BRICS or BRICS being mentioned a lot. So for your information, I would like to share and elaborate a better understanding of what BRICS or BRICS is all about. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, where these countries are all part of a group of emerging economies that focuses on geopolitics, economic cooperation, and increasing multilateral trade and development. Together, they are the intergovernmental organization known as BRICS. Recently, on the 1st of January 2024, the following countries has also joined the organization, including Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the United Arab Emirates. Over 40 countries, including Thailand, and other countries like Argentina, Algeria, Bolivia, Indonesia, Cuba, Democratic Republic of Congo, Comoros, Gabon, and Kazakhstan have expressed interest in joining the forum according to 2023 Summit Chair South Africa. They view BRICS as an alternative to global bodies viewed as dominated by the traditional Western powers and hope membership will unlock benefits including development finance and increased trade and investment. That's what all BRICS about. And that was all for today's session. I'm sure that today is going to be another traffic jam Friday. So for those of you who are going to work, you all better hurry, and I hope you all have a great Friday and weekend. I think that's all for my time today, and I hope you all enjoyed tuning in at MFA Inside this week. This week, I'll end with an international relations quote from Bill Wagan, who is a journalist. He said, "It might be a good idea if the various countries of the world would occasionally swap history books just to see what other people are doing with the same set of facts. This is me signing off. Be sure to tune in next week at Saranrom Radio. I'm Sethat Pinyo Trechot, signing off. สวัสดีครับ